Love your home is our theme for this call. And I got Pete Bunai with First Choice Home Inspections here with me. And we're going to talk a little bit today about, first I'm going to get Pete a chance to introduce himself, but we are here to educate home buyers and home sellers on tips, techniques, things that they should know to help avoid making costly mistakes when buying or selling a home. So Pete, I really want to thank you for taking the time to join me on a call. It's Monday, September 19th, 2022. And we're back into another wild real estate market. So I think anything we can do to help home buyers and home sellers with this process is something of value for them. And thank you for taking the time to join me this evening.
No problem.
Awesome. So listen, you've done a number of home inspections for me, and the home inspection process is something that if you've never bought a home before, then it's a new experience. It's something that a lot of people may not have some familiarity with. If you have ever sold a home, then you probably have had a home inspection done on your home. And if you've ever bought a home before, then hopefully you're familiar with some of this process. But myself as a real estate professional, as a real estate agent, I work with buyers and sellers. And one of the most important processes that happens once a home goes under contract and has been negotiated, they settle out on all the price and all that kind of stuff. One of the most important parts of that home purchase, aside from the financing, is the home inspection. Like the home inspection is such a important part for the buyer and for the seller. There's a huge part in our contract, whether you're using a RAIN contract. I'm in the RAIN MLS and in the Williamsburg Association of Realtors as well. Any association that in real estate, any real estate agent is going to have a whole section of the contract that addresses the home inspection itself. And then it's a whole layer of addendums and contingencies, all this kind of stuff. So we're here to talk about home inspections. And actually what I want to do today is I really want to introduce you to the market. And you've been doing this for years, so I'm not introducing you to the market, but I'm introducing you hopefully to some folks out there that are paying attention and wanting to know more about real estate. So Pete, let me just open it up. Tell me a little bit about yourself and how long you've been doing home inspections. What got you into this?
I think the main thing about my background that qualifies me for this is that I was very interested in building houses. And when I did build houses, I would always design them first. And so I would sit down, design the house that I wanted to build, figure out all the materials, all they went. I would go through all the approval processes. And then I literally by myself, and usually with a helper, would build the entire house. And I actually did that entire process 7 separate times. So going through the, local building codes, clearing the land, putting the HVAC, putting the plumbing, putting the electrical, every part. And when you go through a house like that, of course, you get a heck of an education about how the house goes together. You have to, really get a good understanding of what really goes on when you build a house. And of course, designing the houses really helps as well. So I think it's a very solid background in being able to look at houses now and understand what's going on with them and really know what's wrong with them when I'm looking at them.
Yeah, because the home inspection that we're talking about during a resale contract and the resale negotiation portion, the home inspection is a part where you go through every nook and cranny of a house and test every element, component, system within that house. And there's a lot of knowledge that you have to convey with confidence all the findings that you have and all the status, the quality of those elements that exist in that house. And so you have a report that you issue and all this good stuff. So tell me a little bit more about that, the building and construction part, because you said that you design, or you were involved in the design elements as well. Tell me a little bit more about that.
Well, if you want to build a house, you can go a couple of different routes. You can pick some plans on the internet and you can say, hey, I want to build this, or you can, go to an architect and you can say, hey, I want your help in designing the house, or you are actually allowed to sit down and draw that yourself.
Right.
And one of the nice things about the state of Virginia is you're actually allowed to do really every part of the house building process as long as you own the land. And
Okay.
as long as you're actually doing everything yourself, and the county is happy to work with you through that process. So yeah, I actually would design, and I did some alternative constructions a few different times.
Really?
Because I was interested in seeing different ways to put a house together, and that might be a great subject for another time. All the different ways there are to build a house.
Wow.
Let's face it, those houses are what we would just call standard stick frame construction. And although I have, as a home inspector, run into many different types of homes, and when I run into those are not a problem, because I've actually built several different types of homes, and I've found many different ways to build a home.
Wow. So as I'm hearing you talk, I'm hearing a lot of different subject matter that we'll be able to dive into,
Right.
talk about some of those different types of construction methods and material methods and stuff like that. Gosh, all right, that raises my first question for you, I guess. Then, tell me, what are a couple of different construction types or home building types, I guess is the right question. Correct me on that phraseology of the type of homes that are, type of construction that's most common with residential housing.
Well, mostly, stick frame is pretty much standard, and it is on the inside of most things. I actually designed one house that was what's considered a straw bale house. And so that's straw bale in the outer walls. And so that's sort of like an alternative way of building homes. And for that particular house, it had frame support. So it was not load bearing on the straw bale walls, although you can do those types of structures. I was also project manager on another type of another straw bale project. I did an insulated concrete form house, which is another way you can build houses. Happens to be incredibly strong. A lot of great things that I could say or talk about insulated concrete forms. So really what I'm talking about is different ways to approach house building. For example, what I was really looking at is how can I address using less energy, or maybe just having a better lifestyle in a house by what kind of design elements can I bring into it, that kind of things. So of course, anytime somebody, you go to an architect, they want to bring in all kinds of design elements that are really personal to the person that's having that drawn, and and I wanted to bring all those myself to it. So
wow. Now, it's kind of off subject here a little bit, and I'm diverting down a different path, but do you have pictures of some of these homes that you've designed and built? Do you have photographs of some of the homes you've designed and built? And
yes.
Would you be
not
willing to
right
share those?
now? I would have to go, find.
Yeah, we'll come back to them another time, but
Yeah.
I'm fascinated. I didn't realize that was something that you had done already too. So that's really, really cool. So we'll save that for another subject on another one of our Monday calls. Well,
all right.
That is really, really awesome. So you are, I'm here in the Williamsburg area, and you're here in Williamsburg. Tell me a little bit about where you are geographically. Where do you concentrate your business? Who do you serve when you're doing home inspections in this area, in the business?
Well, mostly I focus on Williamsburg. I'm willing to go as much as 50 miles from Williamsburg. Usually I work with Williamsburg realtors, but definitely, any of the surrounding areas as well. So, and people that, really, I think that would be the best way to say it, is within a 50-mile radius. So that's a
Okay.
pretty big area.
Yeah, I
Pretty
know.
big geographic.
I'm trying to think, Pete, I know you've done home inspections for me in Gloucester, in Hayes. You did,
Right.
did a townhouse inspection for me there. You've done inspections for me in Yorktown, as far down, almost into Newport News. And then we just finished this one in Seaford a couple weeks ago. And
Portsmouth, Newport News.
oh, you'll go to Portsmouth as well?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. So you'll even
Yeah.
go across the river. All right. So any other real estate agents that are out here, guys, if you need a good home inspector, I can speak firsthand from my experience. Pete does a fantastic job of understanding the details of a home, understanding how to really communicate it very effectively as he's doing that home inspection to the buyer client. And Pete, how often might you do a pre-listing home inspection for a seller? Is that something that you find happening very often?
I do them, but not very often. So I luckily, I don't know that they're really the best, but I am willing to do them. So I would say maybe once a month. So not too often.
Oh, okay.
But I am doing them on occasion.
Okay. I have a feeling that you may see that happening more often now as our market is shifting, because we're in a transitioning market, and sellers are, having to actually consider things that they need to really do to sell their home now.
Yeah.
For the last 2 years, if you had a home to sell, you basically won the lottery, and you didn't really have to do a whole lot to sell that home. And it was on the buyer to determine, is this home going to work for them? Are they willing to pay $50,000, $70,000 over what the asking price is? Can we waive home inspection and and feel confident about this house? I have never had I can all confidently say I have never had somebody buy a house that was my buyer without a home inspection. Even during this crazy, last couple of years where often we had to waive the contingency aspect of the home inspection, we always had a home inspection. And often what we had to waive was the ability to negotiate things. But now that things are shifting, a home inspection is going to continue to be a very, very crucial part of a home home purchase transaction. Tell me a little bit, I guess. So you do a home inspection. How long does a home inspection last? And I know you can't give me a quote on price, but how much can somebody expect to invest when they're buying, doing that home inspection? How much is the cost on something like that?
I think the prices probably range anything from $350 to $650, depending on the size of the house, age of the house. It does go by square footage and a number of other factors. So I think that my prices are probably about midline, maybe a little on the higher side.
I've found your pricing to be very competitive with anybody else that I've had do home inspections for me as well, because obviously I don't always get to choose who we have do the home inspection. I make sure that you're part of that recommendation, and you're usually my first choice. You did a home inspection on one that was, I think it was almost a 4,000 square foot house, and it had this huge 3-bay garage. And that was probably one of the more expensive ones because it had that separate structure that you did home inspection on for me, which was there was a lot to inspect there. So that was on the far end of the range. So we got so much that we're going to be able to talk about on Mondays. So if you're watching this on Facebook Live, love to hear your comments, love to hear any questions that you may have about home inspections. Pete and I will be here on Mondays, every Monday. Forgive us if we run into conflicts with our schedule. That may happen, but we'll try to bring you news, information about the home inspection process, learning about homes. We have an expert on home construction that is very, very knowledgeable about all the systems of a home. And Pete, of course, I'm talking about you when I make that reference. So I'm super glad to have this opportunity to have you come talk to whoever's out there that wants to learn about home inspections, willing to take the time to listen to this. So in the meantime, so what's the best way to contact you if somebody wants to get in touch?
I would say probably just go online, First Choice Home Inspections in Williamsburg, and it's easy to book online or call the phone number and book. I've got a fantastic office staff that's happy to take the calls.
Okay, so make sure to do me a favor. I know I have it, but if you put that in an email and send me that, and I'll make sure that link and all that detail with your contact information and a link to the website goes in the description on this Facebook and in the YouTube, because we're recording this, so this will go on YouTube as well.
Okay.
Make sure that all your contact information goes on there. Well, I'm John Polson with Homes and Land by John. I'm with Mid-Atlantic Residential. I'm a real estate agent here in Williamsburg. Pete Bunai with First Choice Home Inspections is a home inspector here in the Williamsburg area. Obviously covers a large area and does home inspections, not just for buyers, but also for sellers, real estate agents. Doesn't just work for me, works for any real estate agent that's out there that wants a good quality home inspector. We have a really good one right here. And Pete, I really appreciate your taking this and willing to take this time on Mondays to provide some really knowledgeable, helpful education for the world out there.
Oh, thank you. I think this is going to be a great opportunity to really get some good stuff out there.
Yeah, I agree. I know you got a lot of knowledge about homes, and you said something to me when we were having breakfast last week or the other week, and it really kind of resonated. And it's kind of even the title of this show, if you want to call it a show. You have a passion for homes.
Yes.
Do you remember what you said?
No. What did I say?
You said you love houses.
I do love houses.
You love houses, and you love the components and not the components, but you love what it does for it's not just the house, right? The house is a home. You love what it does for somebody in their life. And right. So, I mean, I think that really resonated with me, because that's how I feel about real estate in general as well. Homes are just something special. There's something special about owning a home that it's a little bit hard to define. You know it when you know it, but I mean, there's something special about actually owning and controlling and having something of your own that you are actually, that is yours, right? And it's the only thing really that is fully and completely yours. I mean, your car, well, there's major things that people can own, right? You can own houses, real estate, you can own an automobile, you can own jewelry, clothing, other material things. Real estate is the one thing that cannot be taken from you. It's that, and it's real. It is real estate, and it makes it so much more valuable and intrinsically valuable to human beings because we can live in it. Whereas anything else that we own, maybe with the exception of a second home or something like that, it's real estate, and a home is something that we live in. That's one of the things that makes it so important to us. And it's generally attached to the ground, and that piece of ground can't go anywhere. Anything else that's out there can be taken away. Doesn't mean that a home can't be knocked down or anything else, but that is why knowing about that home and understanding construction is so important. So thank you for sharing your knowledge and education. Look forward to learning so much more with you and sharing that knowledge with our Facebook world and YouTube. So if you have any questions, if you're out there and you want to know more about home inspection, you want to know more about real estate in general as well, feel free to leave a comment on this page. You can feel free to message me through this page as well, and I'll make sure that Pete's contact information is here. And like and subscribe and share this page with your friends and family. Look forward to hearing any questions that you have out there. In the meantime, Pete, I'll let you get about your evening, and thank you for taking the time. I'll talk to you again really soon.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Thanks a lot. Have a great day.